The wait is over. Luther Burden is back on the field, and Bears fans should be excited. After missing time since rookie minicamp, the young wide receiver finally suited up again today as training camp heats up. And guess what? This wasn't just any ordinary practice. Today marked the first full pad session of camp. The energy in Lake Forest was electric. The players went hard in a humid, high-intensity workout that lasted about an hour and 45 minutes. You could feel the urgency building. With preseason just around the corner, things are starting to feel real. But before we dive into all the major takeaways from this important day, if you're a true Bears fan, this is your moment. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily Bears content is dropping all camp long, and trust me, you don't want to be left behind. Now let's jump into the action. So what's the big headline today? Luther Burden's return. It's his first time practicing since May. Sources say he was recovering from a soft tissue issue, most likely a hamstring. These types of injuries can be tricky. They don't just disappear overnight. But the good news, there's still plenty of time for him to earn his spot in the rotation. The coaches are watching closely, and make no mistake, Burden's presence changes the dynamic of this offense. This story is just getting started. Luther Burden is officially back, but now the question is, can he stay consistent? If he shows up every day and puts in the work, this story quickly fades into the background. That's a good thing, because once a player settles into a routine, it becomes about progress, not recovery. And that's exactly where Burden needs to head fast. We've seen this happen already with Colston Loveland. After missing all of spring, he's come out and stacked back-to-back strong practices. He didn't ease his way in, he jumped right into the mix. That same path is open for Burden if he's ready to grind. But let's be real. The wide receiver room is crowded and nobody is giving up their spot without a fight. At the top, DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. Those two have already claimed their places as the go-to weapons in this offense. After them, the competition is wide open. Olamide Zaccoz is quietly making his mark. His chemistry with Caleb Williams has been solid through the first week. Then there's Devin DuVernay, J.P. Richardson, and a few others all flashing at the right moments. It's not a walk in the park for anyone. If Burden wants to carve out a real role, there's no mystery. He has to fight his way into that slot receiver spot. That means outplaying Zaccoz, plain and simple. Of course, there's a twist. Tight end Colston Loveland might be part of this conversation too. He's expected to line up in the slot more than most tight ends do, and if that happens, the third receiving role could shift in unexpected ways. Now shifting gears, there was one concerning moment in today's padded session. Tanoh Kpassagnon left practice with a possible hand or wrist injury. After getting checked on the sideline, he was carted off the field. Right now, the severity of the injury is unknown. It's never a good sign when a player can't walk off under his own power, so we'll be watching this situation closely as more updates come in. When the Bears brought in Tanoh Kpassagnon, it wasn't to be the star of the show, it was to add muscle to a position that still needs help. His role was clear: bring veteran depth behind Montez Sweat and Dayo Odeyingbo and push the younger guys like Austin Booker, Daniel Hardy, and Dominique Robinson to fight harder for every snap. Now let's be honest, Kpassagnon isn't the player who makes or breaks this defense. But when a team lacks depth at a crucial spot like edge rusher, every reliable piece matters. And Tanoh brought that. Over 90 career games, solid against the run. 16 career sacks. He might not light up the highlight reel, but he's a proven pro who helps raise the floor of the room. And that's exactly why his injury matters. With him potentially out, the Bears are staring at an all-too-familiar problem: not enough proven options behind the starters. They had just started to feel more secure with the group, but now, that confidence takes a hit. The front office may be forced to look outside again. There are still veterans on the market, guys with real experience who could contribute right away. Whether it's Jadeveon Clowney, Za'Darius Smith, or even Matt Judon, these names haven't disappeared. The question is whether Chicago is willing to bring one of them in if Kpassagnon's recovery takes time. And let's not forget, Dayo Odeyingbo has been used both outside and inside. If they continue shifting him around, it puts even more pressure on the edge group to stay healthy and perform. The hope, of course, is that Kpassagnon's wrist or hand injury isn't serious. Maybe it's something minor, maybe a few days of rest and he's back. But if it's something like a fracture, then the Bears have a problem they need to fix fast. Elsewhere in the injury news, Doug Kramer was also sidelined today. No update yet, but it's something to monitor as camp continues. Let's start with some positive news on the injury front. The Bears confirmed that Doug Kramer is officially day-to-day, which suggests it's nothing too serious. That's a relief. Kirana Magaji, who exited the last practice early, was also back out there today. Seeing him return so quickly is a good sign, especially considering the importance of continuity across the offensive line. Now, as for Jahori Turner, he's still battling that ankle issue. No clear timeline on his return yet. Then there's Zach Pickens-Frazier, who is absent again, but this time it's being described as a personal matter. No one knows exactly what's going on, and honestly, this isn't the time for speculation. What's clear, though, is that missing multiple practices during this stage of camp is tough, especially for a rookie trying to carve out a spot. Fifth-round picks are never guaranteed a roster spot, and every day miss makes that road steeper. But again, until there's more clarity, we respect the situation and the player's privacy. Now shifting the focus to something that could have a serious impact on the starting lineup. Braxton Jones is getting close to being back at full speed. After recovering from ankle surgery, he finally participated in team drills for the first time, and this wasn't just any workout. It was a full pad session. Jones started out with the second-team offense, but as practice went on, the rotation gave us a clearer picture of the pecking order at left tackle. Here's where it gets interesting. For the second time, Anees Chukwuma Trapilo opened practice as the first-team left tackle. It happened on day one of camp, and again today during the first padded practice. That can't be ignored. Yes, the Bears have been rotating players to evaluate all options, but Trapilo consistently getting the first reps tells a story. And it's becoming clear, the Bears might want him to win that starting job. Of course, it won't be handed to him. Braxton Jones is still in the mix and working his way back, but this coaching staff is giving Trapilo every opportunity to prove he's ready. What happens next will depend on how both players perform with the pads on in the coming days. But one thing's certain, the left tackle battle is heating up fast, and it could shape the entire look of the offensive line. If we were placing early bets on who starts at left tackle in Week 1, the odds might slightly favor Anees Trapilo. He's quietly building momentum, and for now, seems to be just a step ahead in the competition. But don't get too comfortable, this battle is far from over. During the second 11-on-11 period of practice, Braxton Jones took reps with the first team. Then in the third session, Kirana Magaji got his turn. The coaches are clearly committed to giving each candidate a fair shot. Remember, this is only the beginning. Today was the very first padded practice, and that's where things start to get real. Pads have a way of revealing who's truly ready to play at game speed. Technique, strength, and timing all come into sharper focus, and mistakes are harder to hide. So while Trapilo might have a narrow edge right now, the race is wide open. One strong or poor performance in pads can change everything. And speaking of the first padded practice, Brad Biggs dropped an interesting note after camp wrapped up. The team pushed through a 1 hour and 45-minute grind in thick, sweltering humidity. It wasn't just about surviving the heat. The Bears put a heavy emphasis on the run game today. That's no surprise. Without pads, the offensive line can't show much dominance in the trenches. But now, with full contact allowed, it's time to test the ground game. Most of the passing work was dialed back. Some drills ran at half or two-thirds speed, so there wasn't a ton of buzz around Caleb Williams this time. But make no mistake, that wasn't a quiet day. It was an important one. A day that set the tone for what kind of identity this offense wants to build. Tough, physical, and ready to fight in the trenches. Let's be honest, some of those early reps in training camp feel more like a warm-up than real action. That's expected, but today was different. With the pads finally on, the Bears weren't pretending anymore. The offense came out with a clear mission: establish the ground game. It wasn't surprising either. Offensive coordinator Ben Johnson has made it clear that physical football is the foundation of his system. And that starts with running the ball. So today, the workload shifted heavily toward the running backs, who were finally able to show what they could do when things got physical. That's exactly what this practice needed. Of course, DeAndre Swift is locked in as the starter. He's sharp, explosive, and already looks comfortable in this scheme. But there's still a fierce competition brewing behind him, and it's starting to heat up. Roshan Johnson and Kyle Monangai are both trying to prove they deserve that number 2 spot. Roshan brings toughness and downhill power. Monangai offers quick cuts and vision. With the pads on, this battle gets real. Every rep matters now. Every carry, every block, every blitz pickup. It's not just about looking good in shorts anymore. It's about proving you can take hits, deliver punishment, and protect your quarterback. And with day 2 of padded practice coming up, the balance may shift back toward the passing game. We could see more from the wideouts and Caleb Williams tomorrow, especially as the coaches look to build rhythm through the air. But make no mistake, today belonged to the running backs. And the fight for RB2, it's far from over.